You won't believe it, but even today, there exists a place on Earth, hidden in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, a secret island where reaching it feels like walking backward through time. It is one of the most isolated human settlements on the planet, so remote that no airplanes can land here, no cruise ships can arrive, and even on Google Maps, this island cannot be properly captured. Yet on this very island, around 50 people still live today. This is Pitcairn Island, a volcanic rock rising from the endless blue ocean, a land almost unchanged by time, wrapped in mystery, and nearly unknown to most people on Earth. But the question is, how was this island formed? How do these 50 people survive, even while being so far from civilization? What does their daily life look like? And what secrets does this island still hide? Today, we will step into that unknown world, where every day is a story. So please, watch the video till the end. And new friends, make sure to press the subscribe button and select the bell icon's all option. Just to reach the nearest airport, you have to travel thousands of kilometers to Tahiti or New Zealand. From there, the real test begins. You have to board a slow supply ship that moves forward day after day across the Pacific Ocean. Massive waves all around, sudden storms, and as far as the eye can see, only water. No rescue boats, no nearby islands in sight. It feels as if civilization had long been left behind. And just then, from the middle of that emptiness, suddenly rises a jagged green mountain. Steep cliffs, like stone walls emerging from the ocean. Dense forests untouched by human hands, and water so clear that you can see all the way to the ocean floor beneath the boat. As you get closer, it feels like the world had forgotten this place entirely. Most tourists never manage to reach here. There are no resorts, no tour guides, not even a proper jetty. The island's residents themselves come in small boats, fighting against powerful waves to bring you ashore. The moment you step onto the island, one thing becomes clear. You are no longer in the modern world. On Pitcairn Island, roughly 50 people live. Only 50 people across the entire island. Not 50 families, just 50 lives. Such a small population where everyone knows everyone's name, their stories, their past. There is no supermarket here, no hospital, not even a police station. There is only one school, one church, one small post office, and a general store that opens just twice a week. And even then, only if supplies haven't run out. So the question is, how do only 50 people survive on such a remote, nearly isolated island? And the answer lies in self-sufficiency. Most families on Pitcairn grow their own food. Bananas, papayas, breadfruit, taro, and sweet potatoes grow easily in the fertile soil. Chickens roam freely across the island, providing eggs. As evening falls, the men go to the steep edges of the cliffs and cast their fishing lines into the deep blue waters. Fresh tuna and wahoo fish are their main sources of protein. There is no natural freshwater source on this island. No rivers, no streams, so they depend entirely on rainwater, which is collected and stored in tanks. Every drop of water is valuable here. During droughts, even bathing becomes difficult. Water must be used very carefully. Electricity comes from solar panels and small diesel generators. If a generator breaks down, there is no question of outside help arriving. There are no repair shops here, no online shopping, no express delivery. So the islanders fix everything with their own hands, often using equipment they had previously discarded. Whatever scrap they find is used to build machines again from scratch. Here, even a piece of old iron can become a life-saving tool. Nothing is wasted. Everything is repaired until it becomes completely unusable. In such a small society, every person must take on multiple roles. Today you are a farmer, tomorrow an electrician, sometimes a mechanic, sometimes responsible for cooking, and sometimes even a nurse. Living on Pitcairn is not about surviving alone. It is a fully collective effort. Everyone depends on everyone else. Their communication system would completely surprise people from the modern world. There is no mobile network here, no cellular service. There is only a slow and expensive satellite internet connection, which often stops working in bad weather. Even loading a single email can take minutes. Video calls are almost considered impossible. Sometimes the internet disappears completely for days. The most reliable means of communication with the outside world are still radio and the post office. A small wooden building where letters arrive every few months. The same supply ship brings food, medicine, and fuel. If someone sends a parcel from abroad, it can take weeks, even months to arrive. And if for any reason the supply ship fails to arrive on time due to storms, mechanical failure, or financial problems, the entire island seems to come to a halt. Everyone waits for the ship. Yet, despite all these limitations, the people of Pitcairn are extremely close to one another, remarkably innovative, and deeply proud of their small home. But the real mystery is, how did just 50 people first arrive on this island? And that story is completely different from any other story in the world. This story begins in 1789 on the deck of the British ship HMS Bounty. This ship seemed destined to become one of the most infamous vessels in history. After months of tension, strict discipline, and harsh conditions, the sailors' patience finally broke. Led by Fletcher Christian, along with several crew members, they declared a rebellion against their captain William Bligh. This event became known in history as the Mutiny on the Bounty. The rebels took control of the ship and set Captain Bligh and his loyal followers adrift in a small boat in the open sea. But they knew the British Navy would never forgive them. They had committed a crime punishable by death. So they needed a place where the British could never find them. A place no one ever goes. A place that doesn't even exist properly on maps, lost in the middle of the ocean. And that is how they found Pitcairn Island, a remote volcanic island hidden completely from the eyes of the outside world. At that time, the island's location was incorrectly marked on maps, making it even harder to find. For the rebels, it was the perfect refuge. They arrived on Pitcairn along with several Polynesian men and women. They knew there was no way back, so they made a final decision. The HMS Bounty was burned. With that, their only way to leave the island was destroyed, and the chance of being spotted by passing ships was reduced. On those steep cliffs, a new hidden world was born. But the beginning of this new life was extremely harsh. Conflicts between Europeans and Polynesians, tragedy, and power struggles continued. Resources were scarce, and the isolation was suffocating. Yet, through all this hardship, a new society slowly formed. Families were built, children were born, and generation after generation carried forward the blood of two cultures. Today, every person on Pitcairn traces their roots back to those first rebel sailors and Polynesian men and women. The surnames Christian, Young, Brown, and Warren appear in every cemetery, every home, and every family lineage. But the mystery of this island does not end with history. For centuries, its location kept it hidden from explorers, from governments, and even from pirates. Countless ships passed through the Pacific Ocean over the years, yet most never realized that on this lone volcanic rock existed a complete human society. Pitcairn Island itself is like a living book full of mystery, with many pages still left to be opened. Inside the island's steep cliffs and caves are ancient Polynesian carvings, symbols, strange shapes, and markings whose meanings are still not fully understood. Deep within some caves are underground chambers where ancient visitors once performed rituals or left offerings for their gods. Archaeologists believe these symbols are centuries older than Pitcairn's current society, meaning ancient sailors had come here long before the rebels. But many caves remain unexplored, some too dangerous, some too deep, and some so mysterious that no one dares to enter. Even today, islanders tell stories of silent nights when strange lights appear over the ocean, echoes drifting down from the cliffs when no one is around, and massive waves rising from calm seas without warning, as if the ocean itself were alive. These legends have been whispered from generation to generation for over 200 years. But perhaps the greatest mystery is this: how has such a small community survived for so long, completely isolated from the rest of the world? Most settlements disappear. Most societies collapse. But Pitcairn remains. For more than 230 years, these families have preserved their identity, their traditions, and their deep connection with the land and the sea. Yet the future is still uncertain. Today, only about 50 people live on the island, and the population is steadily declining. Young people leave for New Zealand for education or work, and many never return. To attract new residents, the island authorities have offered free land and a peaceful life. But this deep isolation frightens most people. Without new arrivals, one day this society may face the risk of disappearing. Some fear that Pitcairn could become an abandoned island, left with only broken houses, silent forests, and the sound of wind and sea. Yet for now, those who remain continue to live just as their ancestors did, with resilience, creativity, and an unbreakable bond with this mysterious island. Every day they wake to the roar of the ocean, walk the steep paths carved by their forefathers, and pass down generations of knowledge to the next. This story reminds our modern world of a rare truth. A place where time moves slowly, where technology has not taken over everything, where nature is still powerful, and where just 50 lives hold on to a way of life that almost no one else on Earth will ever experience. Pitcairn is not just an island, it is a hidden world, a living monument of human history, a society built on survival, mystery, and courage. And today you have stepped inside that island, where only 50 people still live.
Now I want to hear your opinion. Could you live such an isolated life? Or would this loneliness feel like the most terrifying thing to you? You can share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, you can give it a like. You can subscribe to the channel. Then we'll meet again in the next new episode. Thank you.